So I'm making this video because I just got into it with some disinformation agents who, for whatever purpose, seem to have it out for any relevant proof regarding Nibiru or the obvious anomalies in our skies. So it all started with this. I'm on this video here. The video is titled Skywatcher Nibiru Researcher Matt Rodgers and His Imaginary Subscriber Photo Submissions by Mrs. R.D. So scrolling down here. Okay. So it all started with this narrative. I initially stated on the comment thread, what's imaginary? Everything he posts are legitimate, unedited photographs. YouTube took its channel down because people like you are too dumb to look up and observe for yourself. Just dismiss everything as fiction. So this individual responded to me. What is imaginary are the subscribers' names he used in this video. Did he actually read the text and links in the box below the video? The video is about him sweeping the internet for pics he thinks are suitable, plundering them from the websites of professional photographers and saying he was sent them by subs. He is known for doing this. I suggest you take a look at the following videos where he stated clearly that he shot the footage image himself, giving a time. Now, as you can see, there's one like on there. I'm gonna elaborate on that further in a moment. It continues on giving a time, date, and place when in fact he has stolen the footage from other people. She goes on to list 5 links here. These videos were on the first channel he operated. He took that channel down himself after he was caught lying. As to his second channel, he used photographs that did not belong to the people who sent them. Checking was surely his responsibility, or do you absolve him of this as well as lying? Oh, and I look up often, sometimes whilst using a high-power zoom lens on my camera or through a rather wonderful telescope, and let me assure you there's no Planet X, Nemesis, Brown Dwarf, Sun Simulator, Moon Simulator. By the way, I would also like to add, you see that little edited right there? This whole excerpt right here was not in the original response. That was added in a little bit after, quite some time after. And this all took place quite recently. But it was still edited in, I'm guessing 5 minutes or so into it, because I just now noticed it while filming this. So then my response, and as you can see all the timestamps here, it was immediate. I said, no, I read all that, and while that may be true to a degree, the vast majority, if not current entirety, is all accurately represented. Does your telescope have infrared on it? Because Nibiru is not a planet as it is commonly misrepresented as. It's a system consisting of numerous objects of various compositions, from comets to stellar core remnants. You can't view Nibiru, Wormwood, Planet X with a standard lens. It requires infrared. She goes on to say, prove it. Where did you get that ridiculous information? Claudia Albers? LOL. Planet X physicist, for those that don't know. Okay. Initially, the only response here was, prove it. So I'm going to show you right now in this. It just says prove it. Editing things in. Because, these people, they're disinformation agents. They're probably Googling as they go along because they really have no information or knowledge themselves. So then I proceed to provide a few links. Some of my most recent. And after that, I proceeded to provide some more links. As you can see, this is my history. This is my comment history. I went on to say, here's more. And I provided a buttload of links with substantial evidence that I've accumulated over some time. There goes the timestamps and all that. Moving on. So now this guy with his fancy little German name there, whatever. I'm not. My wife is German, but I do not speak German, so neither does she. So I'm not about to Google translate this because I'm sure it's irrelevant. Oh, for those of you that don't know, these are T.R.O.L.L people. Truth and reason over litany and lies. If you go on their channel, the about them, it says that very clearly. He goes on to say, thus speaks the voice of a complete pillock. Infrared is primarily used for observing objects beyond the light of the sun, as they are only detectable by their heat signature. However, for objects within the solar system, they will reflect the light of the sun, proportionate to size and distance. Look at our existing planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus, visible to the naked eye. A moderate telescope reveals Mercury, Uranus, and Neptune. Because they all reflect light, Nibiru is actually non-existent, so the point is moot. Zachariah Sitchin, could not read the cuneiform tablets. Neither was he qualified in cultural iconography. So he made it all up, leaving us with this mess. I use a 6-inch Newtonian with a DSLR plugged in for imaging. I have a modified webcam by my own that has the IR filter removed, so it's sensitive to the IR light. I can also add a cut filter at a specific range to adjust which end of the scale I am viewing. So indeed it is fiction. Next you will be saying there is a sun simulator. LOL, I've destroyed that one, but good with maths and geometry. Some of us are very awake. Now I would also like to add, you see all these little likes right here? Yeah, these little likes right here, they're self-loving each other right here, as if their argument is a valid one, just because they're using technical terms and they're on the same side, and you know, they're grandstanding their own point of view by giving each other some self-love here. So my response to this is, no, I don't agree with Alber's assessment at the slightest. I don't even fully agree with Nibiru, Wormwood. However, I do agree with the assessment. There are obvious anomalies in our skies and solar system, and the evidence is all there in the form of visual proof as well as scientific proof in regards to the perturbation of the outer planets of our solar system, as well as the recent climate seismic anomalies and water recessions on our own. I've also seen this thing with my own eyes. And let me tell you, it's no laughing matter when you see several planes spraying silver iodide and other chems daily over your head to obscure it. Nibiru is one of many names for one of many objects responsible for perturbation. You can call it what you like. The evidence is all there above in those links. And there is a sun simulator. Here's the patent. There's 3 to be exact. So this clown goes on to say, webcams have well-known issues with overexposure and dirty cowlings. Jeff Spider-Man P is notable on that score. The black dot is the CMOS sensor overloading due to the super bright light sun. It inverts to black. Lens flares and other optical anomaly that is well understood by photographers who need to understand these things to avoid crappy pictures like the rest of the world send to Matt thinking they have seen something. I go on to say, not all webcams are the same. The FAA cams are, however, all the same, and while some show the black object in the center, under less lighting, others don't, and that's where I edited it, because initially I didn't have a don't. In my haste, I forgot to include that. I said others don't, edit there, show the black object while being fully shined upon with no cloud obstruction. How is that multiple cameras all show this obstruction while under less lighting conditions, while others show nothing under more light exposure, and all the same make and model them? So Mrs. Rode in her ever infinite moderation, wisdom skills here says, I have removed your second list. This video is about Matt Rodgers talking about taking other people's photographs. What you are posting and talking about is totally off topic, as if it is. I said, no, it's not. You just don't like conjunction when it goes against your narrative. All are relevant and proven. Nothing is manipulated or altered. All is on topic, but that's okay. I realized long ago disinformation agents are actively seeking to suppress relevant proof for whatever purpose, so it makes sense you'd remove that second list. Paragraphs long with all the evidence you sought. You said prove it. I supplied you with 20 plus lines worth of prove it, and you didn't want to take the time to debunk each and every one because you can't. It's clear proof, like Matt Rodgers supplies, regardless of where and who he sources it from. And there you have it, folks. This is classic disinformation. You have these individuals here who are quite nasty, seeking to discredit honorable and upstanding members of our community who are aware. It's quite disgusting, and this is my first time really going against some heavy hitter trolls, and it's quite ironic that they have this right here, long-standing member of troll group, and that's very accurate. It's sad, it's disgusting, and quite frankly, people like this, they're part of the problem. They're absolutely part of the problem, and it's a shame that you have idiots like this dictating the narrative when the evidence is so clear and before us. Imperator victims. Disgusting.